I run a successful tech company in Seattle now, with a beautiful office overlooking Elliott Bay. My wife Samantha brings me coffee every morning before heading to her own thriving therapy practice. Looking at our life together, no one would guess that 16 years ago, I lost absolutely everything in a single weekend. My pregnant wife, my family, my career, my home, all gone because of lies. I never imagined my coworkers' jealousy would destroy my marriage, turn my family against me, or lead to physical assault. Before I reveal how my pregnant wife left me for my brother, let me know where you are watching from, and hit that like button if you have ever been betrayed by someone you trusted. 16 years ago, I was 25, and on the fast track at TechVision, one of the most prestigious software companies in Seattle. I had joined straight out of college, and quickly proven myself as a talented programmer with leadership potential. My supervisor, Jack Thompson, had taken me under his wing, grooming me for management despite my young age. My personal life seemed just as charmed. Jessica and I were high school sweethearts who married right after college graduation. We had been married for 3 years and had just moved into our first home, a small but perfect 3-bedroom craftsman in a quiet neighborhood. The extra bedrooms were for our future family, something we had been planning carefully. That spring, Jessica came bouncing into our kitchen one morning, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She held up a pregnancy test with 2 clear lines. "Emmett, we are going to be parents." She squealed, jumping into my arms. I spun her around our kitchen, both of us laughing through happy tears. We had been trying for almost a year, and now our dream was becoming reality. The doctor confirmed she was already 4 months along. We had been so busy with work and house renovations that Jessica had missed the early signs. My family was thrilled with the news. My mother, Margaret, immediately began knitting baby blankets. My father, Thomas, usually stoic, actually teared up when we told them. "Nothing better than becoming a grandfather," he said, clapping me on the back. My older brother, Nathan, brought an expensive bottle of non-alcoholic champagne to celebrate toasting to my growing family. The Marshalls were the picture of American success. My father had built a construction business from nothing. My mother managed their finances, and now both their sons were establishing impressive careers and families of their own. We had Sunday dinners together every week, called each other daily, and vacationed together each summer at our cabin on Lake Chelan. Everything changed when Allison Carter joined our department at TechVision. From her first day, something about her made me uncomfortable. She watched people too closely, asked invasive personal questions, and had a talent for creating tension between coworkers. Tall, polished, and undeniably brilliant, she made no secret of her ambition to climb the corporate ladder as quickly as possible. Jack paired us together on a major project, developing security software for a government contract. The deadline was tight, requiring late nights and weekend work sessions. I kept things strictly professional, often mentioning Jessica and the baby in conversation. Allison would smile tightly whenever I brought up my family, quickly changing the subject back to work. Around this time, Jessica began showing signs of insecurity I had never seen before. Pregnancy hormones had changed her body, and she worried about staying attractive to me. "You are more beautiful than ever," I assured her one night, my hand resting on her growing belly. "You are carrying our child. How could that be anything but gorgeous to me?" She smiled, but still looked uncertain. "You are spending so many late nights with Allison. She is so sophisticated and pretty." I was shocked. "Jess, she is a coworker. Nothing more. You are my wife, my love, the mother of our child." Jessica nodded, seeming reassured. I made extra efforts to call her during work breaks and bring her little gifts, her favorite pastries or pregnancy-safe tea blends, when coming home late. TechVision held a celebration party when our team completed the project ahead of schedule. During his speech, Jack announced my promotion to department manager, the position Allison had clearly wanted for herself. While everyone congratulated me, I noticed Allison watching from across the room, her expression unreadable as she sipped her champagne. The following Monday, Jessica called me at work, her voice trembling. "Someone sent me emails. Photos of you with another woman. They say you have been having an affair." My blood ran cold. "What?" That is ridiculous. Who sent these? Someone named Truth Teller. They say they work with you and cannot stand by watching you deceive me. I rushed home immediately. The photos showed me talking with Allison in the office kitchen, but the angles made our professional conversation look intimate. I explained everything to Jessica, and after hours of talking, she believed me. We agreed to change her email password and ignore any further messages. That weekend, we attended the regular family dinner at my parents' house. Everything seemed normal. Nathan asking about the baby, my mother showing us the nursery furniture she had found, my father discussing plans to help renovate the baby's room. Looking back, I should have noticed Jessica texting frequently throughout the evening, or the concerned glances my parents exchanged when they thought I was not looking. 3 days after the family dinner, everything imploded. Jessica received more messages this time, with photos that appeared to show me entering a hotel with a woman. The images were grainy and taken from behind, but the man was wearing a jacket identical to mine. There were also screenshots of text messages I had supposedly sent to Allison describing our affair and mocking Jessica's pregnancy body. I was in a meeting when Jessica called my parents. By the time I checked my phone during a break, I had 17 missed calls. None from Jessica. Instead, I had furious voicemails from my father and mother, calling me disgusting, shameful, a disgrace to the family. Racing home, I found our house eerily quiet. Jessica's car was gone, and a note on the kitchen counter simply said, "I am at your parents'. Do not call me. Come there if you have anything to say for yourself." During the 20-minute drive to my childhood home, my mind raced through possibilities. Someone was setting me up. Obviously, Allison angry about the promotion. But how had she created such convincing evidence? And why would my family believe these lies? Without even asking for my side, I pulled into the familiar driveway, noting all the family cars were present. Jessica's sedan, my father's, truck, my mother's SUV, and Nathan's luxury sports car. Taking a deep breath, I walked up to the front door and used my key. The ambush awaited me in the living room. Jessica sat on the couch, eyes red and puffy, protectively cradling her baby bump. My mother stood behind her, hands on her shoulders, in a gesture of support. My father and Nathan stood like sentinels on either side of the fireplace, faces hard with anger. "You have some nerve showing your face here," my father growled. Before I could speak, Jessica held up her phone, showing me hotel receipts and credit card statements for rooms I had never booked and meals I had never eaten. They found all of this. Receipts, messages, everything. "How could you do this to me? To our baby? These are fake. I never stayed at any hotels. Never sent those messages. Someone is setting me up." I pleaded, looking from face to face, for any sign of doubt or willingness to hear me out. Nathan stepped forward, his own phone displayed. "Then explain these emails from your work account, little brother. Pretty explicit stuff between you and this Allison woman." I stared in shock at messages I had never written. "Those are not from me. Anyone in IT could have fabricated those. Allison works in our department. She has the skills and access to fake all of this." Always an excuse, my father spat. Always someone else's fault. Your poor pregnant wife comes to us with evidence of your betrayal, and you cannot even own up to it like a man. "Dad, please," I begged. "Think about this. Have I ever given you any reason not to trust me? Why would I cheat on Jessica when we just found out about the baby? I love her." My father's face contorted with rage. I never saw the punch coming, just felt the explosion of pain as his fist connected with my jaw, sending me staggering backward. Before I could recover, Nathan joined in, shoving me against the wall. "You disgust me," Nathan hissed, landing another blow to my stomach that left me doubled over. Through the haze of pain and confusion, I heard Jessica's voice, cold and distant. "I want a divorce, Emmett. I cannot be married to someone who would betray me like this." My mother, who had not spoken until now, finally broke her silence. "You are no longer our son. You are not welcome in this family. Not after what you have done." Bleeding and disoriented, I was physically thrown out of my childhood home by my father and brother. They tossed my car keys onto the driveway beside me. "Never come back," were my father's final words before the door slammed. The next week passed in a nightmarish blur. I returned to work desperate to clear my name, only to be called into human resources. Allison had filed sexual harassment charges against me, claiming I had pressured her for an affair and become threatening when she refused. She had provided the same fabricated evidence to the company that Jessica had received. I was suspended pending investigation, then terminated 3 days later. Security escorted me from the building with my personal belongings in a cardboard box, while coworkers whispered and stared. When I tried to withdraw money to hire a lawyer, I discovered all our joint accounts had been emptied. Jessica had taken everything, nearly $80,000 in savings. My credit cards were maxed out with charges I had never made. A former colleague who still believed in me called with the worst news. Yet Jessica had moved in with Nathan. My brother and my pregnant wife were now living together in his downtown condo. The betrayal cut deeper than I thought possible. This suggested their relationship predated the accusations against me. My own brother had been sleeping with my wife and had used Allison's scheme to cover their affair. The divorce proceedings were a massacre. Jessica's lawyer painted me as an unfaithful husband who had abandoned his pregnant wife after being caught cheating. Without money for a good attorney, I was represented by an overworked public defender who barely had time to review my case. Nathan testified against me, claiming he had suspected for months that I was being unfaithful based on my late nights and secretive behavior. He described finding Jessica distraught and alone after discovering my affair, portraying himself as the supportive friend who only wanted to help his brother's family. The judge, a stern woman who showed open contempt for my denials, awarded Jessica everything: our house, all marital assets, full custody of our unborn child, and significant alimony, despite my now unemployed status. I was left with nothing but debts and a destroyed reputation. Unable to pay rent, I was evicted from the cheap motel room where I had been staying. For 3 weeks, I lived in my car, parking in different spots each night to avoid security. I showered at a 24-hour gym using a monthly membership I had purchased before everything fell apart. I applied for dozens of jobs, but word had spread throughout Seattle's close-knit tech community. No one would hire the man who supposedly cheated on his pregnant wife and sexually harassed a coworker. Some interviews ended as soon as recruiters realized who I was. Rock bottom came in the form of a chance encounter. I was nursing a single coffee in a downtown cafe, using their free Wi-Fi to search for jobs outside the state, when I overheard a familiar voice at the next table. Allison was having lunch with another woman from our department. The idiot never saw it coming. She laughed, sipping an expensive cocktail. His perfect little life blown apart, and for what, stealing my promotion. Was it worth it, Emmett? She never looked my way, but the cruel smile on her face made it clear she knew exactly who was sitting nearby. I recorded her conversation on my phone, capturing clear admissions of her sabotage. Triumphant, I took the recording to the police, certain this would clear my name. The officer listened patiently before explaining that Allison's actions, while despicable, were not clearly criminal. Besides, the recording might not be admissible since she had not consented to being recorded. While leaving the police station, I received a text message from a number I did not recognize. It contained a photo of a newborn baby with the caption, "Thought you might want to see your daughter. Not that you will ever meet her." I later learned through court documents that Jessica had given birth to a healthy baby girl named Lily. The birth certificate listed Nathan as the father, not me. When I demanded a paternity test, the results confirmed my suspicions. Nathan had indeed been having an affair with Jessica, likely for months before Allison's false accusations. Armed with this evidence, I went back to my parents' home, certain they would finally believe me. My mother answered the door but refused to let me inside. "The DNA test proves everything I told you was true," I said, holding out the paperwork. "Nathan and Jessica were having an affair. They used Allison's lies to cover it up." My mother glanced at the papers but shook her head. Nathan explained all this. "The baby is his, because Jessica turned to him after discovering your infidelity. They only got together after you betrayed her. That is impossible. The timing does not work. Look at the baby's gestational age. She was conceived, while Jessica and I were still happy together. I will not listen to more of your lies, my mother said, closing the door in my face. That night I stood on the Aurora Bridge, looking down at the dark waters of Lake Union. The pain seemed too much to bear. Betrayed by my wife, my brother, abandoned by my parents, my reputation and career destroyed, and now denied even the right to know my own daughter. My phone rang as I leaned against the railing. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but answered out of desperate hope it might be someone from a job application. Emmett. It is Samantha, Jessica's sister. Jessica's younger sister and I had always gotten along well, though we were never particularly close. She had been away at college during the implosion of my marriage. I believe you, she said simply. I found Jessica's old phone. There are messages between her and Nathan going back almost a year before everything happened. They were planning how to leave you without being the bad guys. When your coworker started causing trouble, they used it as their perfect opportunity. For the first time in months, someone believed me. Someone had proof I was not crazy or lying. It was enough to make me step back from the edge and agree to meet Samantha the next day. Samantha's studio apartment became my temporary refuge. She slept on a pull-out couch while giving me her bed despite my protests. By day she attended nursing classes. By night we combed through the evidence she had discovered, building a file that proved the conspiracy against me. You should take this to a lawyer, she urged. Fight for your rights to Lily. With what money, I asked bitterly. No one will hire me in this city. But Samantha's faith in me restored something I had lost, my belief in myself. Through her nursing school connections, I learned about a small tech startup looking for programmers. The founder, Paulo Rodriguez, was new to Seattle and unfamiliar with local gossip. When I explained my situation frankly during the interview, he shrugged. I care about your skills, not rumors. But I cannot pay much yet. We are bootstrapping. I accepted a salary that was 1/3 of what I had earned at TechVision. Starting over meant taking the bus to work, bringing packed lunches and saving every penny. Slowly I rebuilt my life from nothing. Paulo became not just my boss, but my friend, the first new person to enter my decimated social circle. Meanwhile, I fought for visitation rights to Lily. Jessica and Nathan blocked me at every turn, filing restraining orders, based on false claims that I had threatened them. Court appearances drained my limited savings, but I refused to give up on my daughter. Over the next 2 years, Samantha and I developed a friendship deeper than any I had known before. Unlike the conditional love of my biological family, Samantha accepted me completely. She celebrated my small victories at work, listened to my frustrations about the ongoing legal battles, and never once doubted my version of events. Our relationship shifted gradually from friendship to something more. Neither of us acknowledged it at first, both afraid of the complications. She was, after all, my ex-wife's sister. This is probably a terrible idea, Samantha said, the first time we kissed after I had cooked her dinner to celebrate her nursing school graduation. Probably, I agreed, but neither of us pulled away. At work, I had been developing a revolutionary encryption algorithm that caught the attention of several major tech companies. Paulo and I partnered to patent the technology and launch our own security firm. Within 18 months, Marshall Security Solutions employed 27 people. My financial situation transformed from struggling to thriving. The professional success gave me confidence to pursue legal action more aggressively. After years of petitions, I was finally granted supervised visitation with Lily, now 5 years old. The first meeting was awkward and heartbreaking. She had been told I was just a family friend, not her biological father. One Saturday afternoon, Samantha and I were shopping downtown when we literally bumped into my parents at Pike Place Market. My mother gasped, looking from me to Samantha, and back again. "You two are together?" she asked, her voice strained. My father stood rigidly beside her, his expression unreadable. "Yes," I answered simply. "We have been for almost 3 years now." "How could you do this to your brother?" "To Jessica," my father demanded. Samantha spoke up, her voice steady. "With all due respect, sir, your son and daughter-in-law betrayed Emmett, not the other way around. The evidence has always been there, but your family chose not to see it. My mother reached toward me hesitantly. Perhaps we should talk, Emmett. It has been so long. I stepped back beyond her reach. Unless you are ready to acknowledge what really happened, we have nothing to discuss. I have built a new life without the family that abandoned me. I do not need your approval anymore. Walking away from them was both painful and liberating. I had finally accepted that I might never get the closure or apology I deserved from my blood relatives. That night I proposed to Samantha. My life fell apart so I could rebuild it with you. Will you marry me? We had a small wedding on the Oregon coast attended by Paulo and his wife Samantha's college friends, and my new business associates. No family from either side was present, but it was perfect nonetheless. Life continued to improve. Our security company expanded nationally. Samantha opened her own therapy practice, specializing in helping people recover from family betrayal. My visitations with Lily became more frequent, though she still did not know I was her real father. When Lily turned 15, everything changed again. I received a letter written in a teenager's careful handwriting. Dear Emmett, Mom and Dad, think I am writing to ask about an internship at your company. The truth is, I found some old papers in our attic. DNA results, birth certificates, court document. Are you really my biological father? If you are, can we talk? Lily. Our first real conversation happened at a quiet cafe near her school. She looked so much like me. My eyes, my smile, my gestures. She had questions. I answered honestly, showing her the evidence Samantha and I had compiled years ago. They always badmouth you, she said, tears in her eyes. But none of what they said matches the person sitting across from me now. The truth spread through what remained of the Marshall family like wildfire. My parents reached out asking to meet. Nathan called incessantly until I blocked his number. Jessica sent a long email full of excuses and revisionist history. I agreed to see my parents on my terms, at our home with Samantha present. They arrived looking older than their years, burdened by the weight of their mistake. We should have believed you, my father, said his once powerful voice, now trembling. We failed you as parents. Yes, you did, I agreed, offering neither absolution nor rejection. If you want a relationship with me now, it begins with acknowledging the full truth to everyone, including Lily. They agreed, desperate to be part of my life again, and to know their granddaughter. I allowed limited, supervised contact, protecting both myself and Lily from further pain. Nathan and Jessica's relationship had crumbled years earlier, their betrayal of me apparently just the first in a series of betrayals of each other. Both tried to re-enter my life seeking forgiveness, or at least acceptance. I need to maintain contact with Jessica, for Lily's sake, I told Samantha one night. But Nathan, I do not know if I can ever forgive him. You do not have to, she assured me. Forgiveness is your choice, not his right. Today, 16 years after losing everything, my life is unrecognizable from those dark days. Samantha and I have 10-year-old twins, a boy and girl, who know the whole truth about their family's complicated history. Lily spends every other weekend with us, slowly building the father-daughter relationship we were denied for 15 years. My company employs over 200 people across the country. Samantha's therapy practice has a 6-month waiting list. We vacation in places I once could only dream of visiting. My relationship with my parents remains complicated but improving. Nathan I keep at arm's length, allowing him at family gatherings for Lily's sake, but nothing more. Sometimes I think about Allison, whose vindictive actions inadvertently set me on the path to a better life. I heard she was fired from TechVision years ago for similar behavior toward another colleague. Her attempt to destroy me ultimately freed me from a marriage to a woman who never truly loved me, and a family whose support was conditional at best. The journey from rock bottom to rebuilding taught me that true family is defined by loyalty and actions, not blood. Sometimes you have to lose everything to discover what you really need. The foundation you rebuild on the ashes of betrayal can be stronger than what stood before. Have you ever had to completely rebuild your life after betrayal? Let me know in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to hear more stories of overcoming life's greatest challenges. Share this with someone who might be struggling to see the light after their own world has fallen apart. Thank you for listening to my journey from betrayal to triumph. Remember, your lowest moment might just be the beginning of your greatest chapter.